Welcome to Free Dual Enrollment for Florida homeschoolers. This video will answer all of your basic questions about dual enrollment and help you know exactly how to start the process for your homeschooled or PEP student. My name is Lupita Eyde-Tucker, and I am a veteran homeschooler in the state of Florida. And I have been homeschooling my 5 children for a very long time, since 1999, actually. And I've been helping parents homeschool for the past 20 years in Florida. My company is called Florida Homeschool Advisor, LLC, and I help parents with all aspects of high school planning, transcripts, annual evaluations, PEP assessments, college applications, and consultations. Please feel free to contact me if you need help with anything. All the information that I'm going to share with you comes from several sources. First and foremost, Florida State Statute 1007.271, which is what governs dual enrollment for Florida state colleges. In addition to referring to the statute, I will also be referring to policies published by our state colleges and universities on their websites. That's the really clear place to find the most pertinent information for you locally. Next, I have had many conversations over the years with dual enrollment coordinators from a variety of state colleges in Florida, and I'll be drawing upon that as well as my own personal experience of homeschooling and dual enrolling all of my children at a variety of state colleges in Florida. And last but not least, I also depend heavily on conversations I've had with thousands of families that I've been helping over the years navigate this process since about 2017, and what they have shared with me about different state colleges and different policies and how it has impacted their students' ability to dual enroll in Florida. So all of that is what is going to be helping us as I unpack all this information for you today. So before we begin, I'd like to invite you to join my Facebook group called Florida Homeschoolers Dual Enrolled. It's a statewide group that is a place where you can get support and accurate information about how to homeschool through high school in Florida and take advantage of free dual enrollment at our state colleges and universities. I believe in empowering parents with solid, factual information. And even though I've spent years immersed in this topic, I'm always learning. And so that's why I encourage you to join the Facebook group so that you can stay up to date with the latest changes and insights as well. So what exactly is dual enrollment? Dual enrollment is a provision in the Florida state statutes which allows high school students to take college-level courses at local state colleges or universities for free. These courses count for both high school credit and college credit, hence the term dual, and students remain enrolled in their homeschool or PEP program while also being enrolled at the state college or university where they are dual enrolled. And dual enrollment is a wonderful opportunity for students. Dual enrollment allows students to earn college credits for free, and they also get textbooks for free. It allows students to accelerate their high school education in a very time-efficient way, and it allows them to add a high level of rigor to their high school academic course load, while at the same time, it makes it possible for students to lighten their future college course load, all while avoiding going into debt for college or minimizing the potential of having to go into debt. And for students who want to apply to university right after high school graduation, it enables them to have a competitive transcript for university applications. So let's talk about who can dual enroll. According to Florida State Statute 1007.271, students in grades 6 through 12 are eligible to dual enroll, provided they meet the following criteria. They have to be completing high school level coursework They must have a cumulative GPA or a 3.0 or higher in their high school courses. They have to be earning college-ready scores on a placement test, such as the PERT or the Accuplacer. But they can also get college-ready scores via an SAT or an ACT test as well. I just want to say a couple of things about determining your student's grade level. As a homeschooling parent, you are the one who determines your child's grade level. However, I strongly recommend aligning your student's grade level with their same age peers. This will give your student the maximum time available to be able to take advantage of the opportunities that homeschooled students have in Florida, such as free dual enrollment and other opportunities as well. To qualify for dual enrollment, your student must be doing bona fide high school level coursework. For example, if your sixth grader is taking Algebra 1, which is the first high school math credit, and they earn a B or higher, then that's considered a high school math, that's considered a high school credit, and that can make them eligible for dual enrollment. Placement testing is required, and most students take either the PERT, which stands for Post-Secondary Education Readiness Test, or the Accuplacer, which is a College Board product. Both of those tests are computer-based, they are untimed, and they are adaptive. They're divided into 3 sections: reading, writing, and math. And they are scored immediately, so you'll instantly know if your student placed is college ready in one or more sections of the tests. And the first time your student takes these tests, it will be free, but if they have to retake, then there will be a fee for any retakes. Some colleges will allow students to dual enroll if they place as college ready in just 2 of the 3 sections, while others require that the student places as college ready in all 3 sections. And just remember that an SAT or an ACT score can also be used in place of the PERT or an Accuplacer score. There are 2 kinds of dual enrollment: regular dual enrollment and early admission. Regular dual enrollment limits how many credits per semester a student can take, and this varies by state college. Basically, state colleges are allowed to restrict or limit dual enrollment based on their institution's resources. So these are places where they might actually allow students to take more credits or maybe restrict how many credits students can take per semester. Regular dual enrollment is open to students between grades 6 and 12 who are completing high school level coursework, and they require a college-ready placement score on the PERT or Accuplacer. Early admission is a different type of dual enrollment, and it's only available to high school seniors who meet certain GPA and placement test requirements. And the GPA is their dual enrollment GPA. So, for example, they must have like a 3.5 or higher in their dual enrollment GPA. They also sometimes have to have placed as college ready in all 3 sections of the PERT before they can continue on with early admission. And oftentimes the early admission students have to submit a separate application, and that application oftentimes includes an essay. But this is something that's really more for students who are ready to take on a full college course load. This option can allow students to complete an Associates of Arts degree by the time they graduate high school because it removes the restrictions or the credit limits that are placed on students for dual enrollment, regular dual enrollment. Where can students dual enroll? Florida has 2 main systems that offer dual enrollment: the state college system and the state university system. The state college system is made up of 28 regional state colleges, and all of these state colleges are bound by that state statute that I mentioned earlier, 1007.271. They have to follow that statute. At our state college system schools, dual enrolled students can take face-to-face classes, fully online classes, or hybrid classes. And each college may have a slightly different policy around either placement testing or or any semester credit limits or total credit limits placed on the student. For the most part, students must dual enroll at their local state college that has an agreement with their county. But depending on where you live, your student might have access to maybe 2 different state colleges that have agreements with your county. Also, I want to point out that Florida state law does allow any state college to articulate with any homeschool in the state. And so there are some state colleges that are in other parts of the state that will articulate directly with your homeschool, whether or not your county has an agreement with them. So that's something to look into. Dual enrollment is available at some state universities, for example, UF, UCF, FSU, USF, FIU, FAU, UNF, FGCU, and UWF, just to name a few of them. State universities are required to offer free dual enrollment, but they are not bound by the same rules as state colleges are. State universities can require an SAT or an ACT score instead of a PERT or an Accuplacer score. And some universities will restrict dual enrollment and require dual enrolled students to register last for courses, which makes it harder for students to get the courses they want if they're dual enrolled at a state university. Other state universities may limit availability to dual enrollment by making students only take online courses. For example, making it so that they can't take courses on campus. Again, that's not all of them, but that is some of them. And dual enrollment at a university is often more rigorous than dual enrollment at a state college. Last but not least, the big question on everybody's mind is about, getting into that university. But you'll see that on almost every single website, it'll say that dual enrolling at a university does not guarantee admission as a regular degree-seeking student at that university. All of these institutions, state colleges and state universities, require that you, the homeschooling parent and school counselor of your homeschool, signs an articulation agreement between your homeschool and the college or university. And regardless of whether your student plans to dual enroll at that state college or university, take the time to review that institution's home education articulation agreement before applying for dual enrollment. The articulation agreement outlines each institution's specific policies, including any age or grade restrictions placed upon students, any credit limits per semester, or any overall credit limits that your student might have to adhere to, any required documentation that they want you to provide, on any policies regarding withdrawing from classes or things like that. So it's important that you know these policies ahead of time and any limits imposed on your student, because that will help you plan your student's path to graduation and take full advantage of what's available to them. So just like each state college is able to adjust their policies and vary their policies slightly due to their resources, they also can adjust the timeline of when the application window for dual enrollment actually begins and ends. And it's really important that you spend some time looking at the dual enrollment page of your local state college's website, because usually the deadlines for that state college, are going to be found on that page. And sometimes those deadlines are super early. So I'll give you an example. So one of the state colleges that is notorious for having a super early window for applications for fall dual enrollment is Valencia College. Valencia College typically opens up their dual enrollment application window sometime in like late January, early February, and they close by the end of March. And that's for fall dual enrollment. So lots of parents get caught off guard by that, and I don't want you to get caught off guard. So if you do anything after this video, it would be go look at the dual enrollment page on your state college's website or state university, depending on what you're wanting to do, so that you have an idea of what the time frame is that you need to start to prepare for dual enrollment. So let's talk about the steps for dual enrollment. How do we apply? The first step is to prepare the documentation that you need to prove that your child is at the high school level and has the minimum high school GPA. In order to do that, you would need to prepare a high school transcript for your student, which I can help you with. That's a service that I provide. So if that's something that you want assistance with, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help, and there's information at the end of this video that you can use to contact me. So step one is to make a transcript. Step two is to submit the application. So visit the dual enrollment page on your local state college website and follow their steps to submit an application for dual enrollment. While the steps are all the same for all state colleges, the order in which they do some of the steps might be slightly different. Typically, when you submit the application, usually the student will get an email to create an account in the student portal. When your student does this, they will receive a college email address, and from that point on, all college correspondence will be sent to that college email address. It's important that they check their email, their college email, several times a day during that initial application process so they don't miss important information and deadlines. Step three is testing. After submitting the application, the next step will be to sign your child up to take the PERT or the AccuPlacer. This will be done through the testing center at your local state college. Oftentimes, the link to schedule the testing appointment will be sent to the student's college email account. So definitely check that account. Once your student completes their testing, they will receive the scores right away. Take a photo of the score report and keep that report, that paper, for your records. And if your student places as college ready in 2 or more sections of the test, then they should move on to the next stage of the process. And that is the paperwork stage. Step 4. After the student places as college ready, then you enter the paperwork stage of this process. The required paperwork varies from state college to state college, but the one document that they will all require is that Home Education Articulation Agreement. Every homeschool must sign an articulation agreement. Since you're the school counselor of your homeschool, you are the only one who can sign that document. And also, just as a side note, anytime you see something on a form that requires a school counselor signature, that's going to be your signature because you are the school counselor of your homeschool. Other documentation that may be requested includes a copy of the student's official high school transcript and a homeschool verification letter from your county. This is a common form letter that the county will send out by request that states that your student is registered as a homeschooled student and in compliance with Florida State Statute 1002.41. In the case of a PEP student, you may be asked to provide proof that the student is registered as PEP. To provide this proof, log into your EMA dashboard and navigate to the student's page, and first take a screenshot of that page that shows the awarded status. Next, download a copy of the student's PEP ID card. These are the documents that you will provide to prove your student's PEP status. Since the pandemic, almost every state college has moved to online applications, online registration, online orientation, and you can upload the required paperwork in the student portal. Just in case, keep a copy of everything for your records. Before a student can register for classes, they must attend a mandatory dual enrollment orientation. Sometimes students have to attend this orientation with their parent. Once your student has completed all of these steps, you have submitted the transcript, they have taken the PERT, you've submitted the application and the required articulation agreement, and they've attended the orientation, then your student will be officially admitted to the college. Official notification emails will go to the student, and it will most likely appear in their college email account. To register for classes, they must make an appointment with an advisor who will help the student choose classes and register. Advisement appointments are usually in person, but some state colleges do offer Zoom advising sessions for dual enrolled students. Attend that advisement appointment as soon as you can so that you can go ahead and select courses that fit into your student's ideal schedule. If you need help deciding what courses will help your student meet high school credit requirements and possibly Associates of Arts requirements, then I recommend scheduling a diploma audit with me, because while state college advisors are super helpful, it's important to remember that they're trained to advise adult college students on how to earn an associate's degree, and their job is not to advise high school students on how to use college credits to meet high school requirements. Some of them might know information about that, but that's not really in the scope of their duties. So regular college students and homeschool high school students have very different priorities. And we can't expect state college advisors to do the work of a high school counselor, but that is the work that I do. So I'm happy to help you. That's why I called my service Florida Homeschool Advisor, because that's the work that I do. And I love doing it, and I'm happy to help you in any way. So here's some final thoughts. So this was an overview and introduction to the nuts and bolts of free dual enrollment for homeschooled students in Florida. Check out another video that is on my YouTube channel where I answer frequently asked questions about dual enrollment. And don't forget to join the Florida Homeschoolers Dual Enrolled Facebook group. If this video has been helpful for you, please click that thumbs up and consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. And if you need help with transcripts, high school planning, or dual enrollment planning, please feel free to reach out. I'm here to help. Thanks, y'all.